to the Talk Box with Son. You're listening to the Talk Box. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, you're listening to the Talk Box with Son. You're listening to the Talk Box. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Talk Box.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, you guys. Rise and shine. It's your girl, Sonia G, here on the Talk Box. I know we're running a little bit late, you guys. I got so much going on, but welcome to the Talk Box show. And today is Friday. We made it through another week, and we got my brother, Sean,
yes.
the house again on today.
Yes.
We always love when you come by to see us, so we appreciate that. And today's segment is Don't Forget Your Past, Learn From It.
Wow.
Don't forget your past, just learn from it.
Wow.
I'm telling you. Well, Brother Sean, welcome. Good morning, Tony, as well. Welcome to the Talk Box channel. On today being Friday. So, Brother Sean, how are you doing today?
I'm cool. I'm very good. It's always a pleasure to join you here on the Talk Box. I just love your theme song. That just stays in my mind, you know. I love your theme song, but it's good to be here. Happy Friday.
Well, happy Friday. I want to remind everybody before we get started, y'all need to go to my website and get you some merchandise, man. Get you some Talk Box merchandise. You got the Talk Box canister that keeps everything cold or hot.
Okay.
And then we got the coffee cups for those who want to drink y'all some coffee. Yeah. But we also want to make sure that you're picking up one of my books. This is the From Prison to Praise book.
Yes.
I love my overcoming story. When I get into binds and situations and circumstances come up, I sometimes have to read my book myself. And then I'm also the co-author of I Am a Woman Empowered. And this is a collaborative of all different women going through different situations and how we've come out. So we are all overcomers, but sometimes we need reminders. And so that's okay. So we're gonna delve right in. Tony said he be singing the tune too.
Yeah.
But for those who just came on, I'm your girl Sonia G here on the Talk Box. I got Brother Sean with me again today. But don't forget your past, learn from it. Don't forget your past, learn from it. I know, Sean, that the word says, forgetting those things that are behind and press towards the mark. I know that the words say that. I'm not disputing that word. I'm not contradicting that word, but I'm going to put some Soniology on it. Until you face your past, you cannot go further. Until you can't fix what you don't face. Y'all hear me saying it all the time, and you definitely cannot fix what you won't face. So that's what I mean by don't forget your past. Learn from it.
You know, the past is important. I'm a history teacher, right? And so I teach that if you don't know your past, what's the saying? You're doomed to repeat it, right? Means if you don't learn, like you're talking about, Sonia, if you don't learn the mistakes of your past, then those things can happen again because you haven't learned the lessons.
Right. You haven't learned the lesson. I'll give you a very simple one. When you tell your child, don't touch the stove because it's hot. And if that child touches that stove and get burnt, but then forget that mama said it was hot, I touched it and it was hot, but I done forgot about what I did last week, and I'm going to touch it again just to see. So we need to learn from our past before we forget about it. I got a few others too, but I'm gonna let you go on. What you got to say? What you got to say this morning?
You know, it just kind of makes me think, and I will be honest with you. It makes me think of when we first met. It takes me all the way back to the day when we first met, which was a strange, you know, nothing happens by chance, but it was a very strange thing. I was playing in a church, and I remember you walked in, and I even remember the day, Sonia, you had on white, looked like a little angel, I guess, you know. uh, you and you came up to me, and you wanted me to play, you know, for this group that you were working with in the jail that were singing, these guys. I was not interested in that because I was going through a rough time in my life. I was strung out on dope. Yes, sitting up there playing in the church, strung out on dope. You know what I mean? Yeah, and wasn't the only one, but you know, and all of that time. And I remember, Sonia, how you were kind of like a little bit thorn in my side. You were just kind of like irritating to me. You know, why is she bothering me? You know, you kept showing up even when I was locked up. You popped up in there. You know, and just when I think about going through all of that stuff that I went through during that time, you know, it is that past, right, that has made me the man I am today. It has made me strong today. Remembering that past, you know, and meeting people like you, having God put people in my life like you, Sonia, like you. Let people don't sleep on this woman. I'm telling you, don't miss what God has given us through her experiences. I'm telling you. You know,
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you for that.
yeah, but I'm serious, you know, but it is remembering where we came from. And then when I look at your book, From Prison to Praise, which is amazing. You know, when I look at your book, Sonia, and I look at what you've gone through, you know, to where you are. Yes, that book right there. You know, God is amazing. That's all I can say.
Yes, he is amazing. But I'm gonna give somebody else an analogy as well. Sometimes we can mess up a good thing because we haven't learned our lessons from the past. You had some bad relationships, but you didn't learn what to do or what not to do. And then here God is that sends you your actual help meet. Because you picked up some bad habits in that last relationship. Because you wouldn't put down some bad habits in that relationship, you'll end up messing up what God has for you. So we have to not forget the past until we learn from it. And that's what makes us be able to live the abundant life. For instance, you found out in your last relationship that you need to be trustworthy, but you didn't learn the lesson. And then you're in a situation and in a relationship that God have deemed for you. I'm sorry, you guys. I got to plug in. My phone is going. My computer's going dead. Hold on. And then you get into that relationship that God have for you, and you still messing up. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Sonia, let me ask you a question. So you're saying when we look at relationships, you're saying like we should learn from past experiences and past relationships. We should learn the lessons from that, where you messed up, where whatever, so that you don't repeat that same thing with someone new.
That's right, because
which
look,
is what we do.
every relationship that you're in it.
Okay.
The common denominator. The common denominator
You're
in
in it.
every relationship is you.
You.
So that's
Okay.
something. And I'll tell you something else.
That's
For
interesting.
I speak with people who are in domestic violence relationships, and they finally get out of that toxic relationship, and then they run and they cling to the same thing. Well, here's the deal: if somebody, if you get out of a toxic relationship and you start dating someone else, and that someone else carries the same characteristics and behaviors of that last one that you know was beating you in your head, then you already know to put the blockers up. You learn from that past.
Sonia,
That when they get upset about stuff that they shouldn't get upset about. You know what I mean?
I hear you, but it seems like that's easier said than done
It
because
is
you like
easier
what you
said than
like.
done.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
attracts you to that person? Maybe you know what you like, and then you wind up finding out. You know,
Yeah,
hey,
but
this is a
you have to find a person that has the characteristics that you like, that's not gonna beat you in the head
of
either.
course, yeah, you know, but
You
you
know,
don't know it
but
until you get in it.
that's why come God tell you to guard your heart. See, sometimes we all willy-nilly and we get ourselves into positions, into relationships without guarding our heart.
That's
And
true.
then I do have a saying that I say, you can't help who your heart loves, but you can slow down that process. You can learn on the job. It's like learning on the job. When I see different things in you, then I don't have to allow myself to fall in love with you, because see, once you fall in love, then it's way harder to back yourself out of that thing. I believe that's why God tells us to guard our heart. Okay, so
Yeah, I agree
but
with that.
in everything, we have to learn from the past. In everything, like you said, if you don't learn from your past, you're deemed to repeat it. That's even in business. When we have a business and we've had 5, 6, 7, 8 businesses to fail, and nothing's wrong with that, because it's a process to get somewhere. However, you should learn from every situation. You should learn from every relationship. You should learn from every church that you pastor. You should learn from every child that you push out and create. You should learn so that you can be better, so that you can be the man or the woman of God that God already called, created, and ordained you to be.
That leads us to that abundant living, learning
That's
those
right.
lessons of the past, you know,
Yeah.
and doing and choosing rather to do something different leads us to abundant living. We're on our way, right?
Right. It's a journey. It's a
Yeah.
journey. I'll tell you something else too, Sean. I had someone on yesterday, Dr. V, Dr. Veronica Johnson,
Hmm.
and she was telling me how she grew up for 55 years and thought somebody was her dad. And then some kind of way she did ancestry stuff. And I said, ancestry is messing a whole bunch of folk up, because it's always dad, mama's baby and daddy's maybe. So she found out at 55 that her father was someone else. Okay. So here's the deal. She was wondering all her life, why I don't look like them.
Okay.
See, that causes childhood traumatic experiences and issues within ourselves that blocks us from having abundant life.
True.
Why did my daddy treat me different than my other siblings? And then you find out the answer. You learn from the past. Her past was that she was treated different, that she looked different, that she didn't fit in. Okay. But she went out and she got information, because wisdom is key. And out of all you're getting, get understanding.
That's
so
right.
so she got information that she had a different father. So when she met her father, she looked like him.
Wow.
She met her siblings, and they were almost in the same realm. It was amazing that when she met her father, she's a publisher, and when she met her father, he was writing a book.
I see. Yeah.
So when we learn from our past,
Right.
it elevates us and allows us to become, and it allows us to live that abundant life.
That's true. It allows us to become a better version of ourselves, and you're right about that.
Yes.
You're definitely right about that. Why do you think that people don't you don't learn the lessons from the past? Is it that we don't contemplate on it enough? Is it that we don't think about it and analyze it, or we just keep it moving? Why don't people sometimes, why do some women, men, right, wind up in the same type of relationships again? Why does it keep happening? Why don't we learn?
I think it's several reasons. I think we can come up with a few reasons.
Okay.
One, we get complacent. We get complacent and we get used to it is what it is. Everybody, it is what it is.
True
well,
that.
Guess what? It
True
don't
that.
have to, it is what it is, because if you change your mind, your life will follow. So if I love strawberries, but strawberries are not good for me, and I love them, but I gotta change my mindset. The Bible says, "Be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." Sometimes we have to renew our mind. I want to stop for a second. I want everybody to hit their like button on your screen. I need to see some likes on your screen today. I need for you to go ahead and share the live, because we don't want to nobody to miss this. That means that you need to share your live to your family, to your friends, and your frenemies, because somebody needs to know that we're on this journey to abundant living, but it's a process, and we have to learn from our past so that we can have the abundant life that God have already said that we have authority to live.
That's true.
So
that is true.
Back to what you were saying, Sean, we get so complacent. Everything, and really and truly, as human beings, we do not like change. And I think that it comes from fear. I remember when I was smoking dope and I wanted to get off drugs. I wanted to get off drugs really bad, but I had a fear of, what am I going to do if I ain't getting high all day? Now that sounds crazy, but we walk in fear. But we need to be reminded that God said that he's not the author of fear, but he gives us sound mind, gives us love and of a sound mind. What did Tony Capar say?
I like what he said. He said some people don't like change and they want to do things their way instead of God's way. It makes me think of the Bible verse, trust in the Lord with all their heart and lean not into their own understanding. Right there, right? Incline, your way to him, and he would direct your path. So that's Tony. Thank you for that. That's one of the things I think that we are not doing is, first of all, trusting in God on this journey in life. We cannot navigate this journey just on our own. We have not been people before. You know what I mean? We haven't been. You know what I mean? God is the creator, and God knows everything, and we don't seek God's guidance in relationships. I think we should seek God's guidance in everything. We do.
Everything. Another thing that goes wrong, Sean, as well, is we lack self-reflection. The reason why we can't change is because it is what it is, instead of looking at yourself and putting the mirror up and seeing what it is that I need to do better.
That's true.
What can I change about myself? What can I do a little bit different? We forget to do self-reflection.
That's true. And a lot of people don't. They don't want the truth. They can't face the truth about themselves. You know, a lot of this abundant living and growing. It's a lot of self. It's a lot of self analysis.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to. Paul tells us, examine yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you know,
Yeah.
it's a bunch of self-examining. That's how we become a better form of ourselves. That's how we start to approach that
Mm-hmm.
abundant living that you talk
Yeah.
about, Sonia. It
Right. Right.
begins with that self-reflection, you know, and then that way we won't hopefully repeat past mistakes and
And
stuff.
I'm coming up, you guys. I know I was running late today and all that good stuff, so I didn't have time to type everything that's in my mind and in my spirit. But you know, everything happened for a reason. The other thing that keeps us from learning from our past is our emotions. Sometimes we get so emotional that we can't see. It clouds our judgment. I'm so in love with you, even though you beat my head. I'm gonna stay with you. We get clouded with our emotions. We get clouded with our emotions with I know that I can do it. But the Bible said there's a time and a season for all things,
True.
even in business, even in church. We get so emotional at church that we miss the movement. We miss the lesson from
That's
it.
true.
We
That's
we we get so emotional that you know, the lesson I keep going back to is it wasn't a loss, it was a lesson. But we get so emotional that we get lost in the loss. Because we lost something, we can't move forward.
right. Right.
It's
That
emotions. Emotions keep us.
mm,
Somebody write down emotions in the chat.
emotion.
Emotions keep us from learning from our past. We're so emotional. You're so sensitive. You
Ah,
know,
ah,
grow up.
ah.
Things happen.
That's funny. That's funny. We cannot live life according to how we feel and our emotions and stuff like that. You know,
It's not about how you feel, it's about your faith. How
oh,
about
not
that?
about how you feel. It's about your faith.
That's
Is
right.
that right? Is that right? Yeah,
My
because
feeling is faith.
your feelings, right? And that goes back to, you know, maybe being in a relationship, being with a person that is not the best for you. Well, because they make you feel.
Yeah. How they make you feel.
You
I
know, they
know,
make
right?
you all that kind of stuff. And so yeah, that can, and if any of you adult folk can would just think back, you know, it's
Good
your
morning,
feelings,
Belinda.
it's
Right.
your feelings that has
Yeah.
gotten you into a whole oh
A
God,
whole lot of trouble.
Lord have
Um,
mercy.
it is what it is, and what it is you. I like that. It is what it is, and what it is you. That's what
True.
Tony said. So we know that because we lack in self-reflection, we know also that emotions, and we
Yeah.
touched a little bit about fear. Fear of your past. I don't want to know. I don't want to know the truth. Well, this is why you
Don't face
need the
it.
truth, you guys. Let
Don't
me
face
tell you why you need the truth. You need the truth about your past. I disagree with the whole adoption process thing that everything is sealed and the kids can't know who their parents are. I disagree. Why? Because the Bible says that the truth will make you free. That's why you need the truth. That's why you need to know. You need to know because you cannot learn from something that you don't know about. Again,
That's
you
true, of
can't
course.
fix what you don't face. I need somebody to give me a thumbs up on that one. I
That's
need you to
true.
click the like button on
That's
that
true.
one. You have to know the truth because the truth will make you free. You need to know where you come from. You need to know what all our forefathers did in order for us to live the life that we live right now. now. You need to know about that last relationship. You need to reflect on yourself and see what caused that relationship to fail. What part was yours and what part was theirs? What part you can fix going into the next relationship, and what part that you ain't got nothing to do with. You know what I mean? So, but you can't allow fear to stifle you to go to the past. I want to read this. Change can be intimidating, and people may resist learning from their past if it requires them to modify their behaviors, their beliefs, or their habits. Sometimes we're afraid. We're afraid to change or modify our habits. Well, I've always did it like that. Well, let me just ask you something. How's that working out for you? How is that working out for you?
Are you happy? Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Is that working out for you?
Right.
So we need to get rid of our fear. We need to face our fear. We need to know that you can't fix what you don't face. You have to understand that I've been in different business relationships. I've been in different personal relationships. I've been married to 3 different men. I got several children. Some I birthed and some that just done picked up along the way. But in all of that, we have to face the facts. We have to face the past so that we can learn from it, so that we can have the abundant life that God have given us the authority to live. And so we can't get stuck in our habits. For instance, I have a habit that when things are going crazy, because I don't do drugs anymore, I don't really drink. Sometimes a glass of wine or whatever, a little sip or something. But I tend to pick up smoking cigarettes. But I had to face the fact that these cigarettes aren't good for me. So I need to do whatever it takes.
That's true. That's true.
So I had to go back and say, why is it that I smoke when I get upset? Oh, it's because I'm wrapped up in a ball of emotions. So now I'm emotionally all here, there, and everywhere. And the enemy done set it up, girl. You just need to smoke a cigarette. We got to start seeing the enemy vices that he put in our lives. How about this? How about this? Your husband or your wife get you upset. And in all your other relationships, they done got you. So you're thinking, well, I might as well get them before they get me. That's old thinking. You didn't fix that. You didn't learn from it, because then you go out and you mess around on your husband or your wife. And then it destroys your relationship and your marriage says kaput. Why? We didn't learn from that old relationship that I need to be faithful. We didn't learn how to be faithful. We didn't learn how to sit in it, not be emotional and resolve that thing. I was talking to someone just yesterday, and I was emotional. I was like, look, you're not listening. I got emotional. And then I told them, you know what? I need to block you for a minute, because right now I'm so emotional. And I told them, I'm going to block you for a minute because I'm so emotional that I cannot come up with a resolution. So sometimes we take the emotions out and we look back at different disagreements that we've had. So how did I resolve that? With a cool head, because they tell you never make a decision while you're emotional. You know why? That makes sense. You know why? You know why, Brother Sean? Why? When you're emotional, you make bad decisions. When you're emotional. When you're emotional, you'll make some bad decisions. When you're emotional, you'll make decisions, and then after you make that decision, you say, "Why did I do that?" Because you were emotional. Somebody write emotional.
That's true. Yeah. I would think, or say things, and you're emotional. You say things, you do things. You're right.
You
Yeah,
say
yeah.
things you don't mean. You get upset. You'll say that I hate you. You don't been more hate that person than the man in the moon. But you allowed your emotions to dictate you. So I'm saying today that one of the lessons from your past that you need to learn is don't be emotional.
Okay,
Take
yeah.
the bitter with the
Yeah, yeah,
sweet.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah,
whatever that
yeah,
song is, that
yeah,
emotional. We
yeah.
have to not be emotional.
That's
Okay?
that is true. That is true.
Yeah.
And
And,
and,
and
and that that's
go
not
ahead.
that's easier said than done. Especially if you're used to. And I'm
It's a
gonna say
process.
this. I'm gonna say this. I don't usually say women are this way, men are this way. However, in this case, I will say I do believe that women tend to be more emotional
Yes.
uh, than
Yes.
we do, than
Yeah.
guys do. Y'all need to work on that. Please, no.
I'll tell you something else. The last one that I have that I wrote down was what keeps us from forgetting the past, from learning from our past mistakes, is a lack of awareness.
Mm, mm,
Sometimes
mm.
somebody the lack of awareness, but go ahead and write down awareness in the comment section for
Right.
me. But your lack of awareness, you're not aware that that's an annoying habit that you have. You're not aware of what is causing in your relationship. You're not aware that you don't need to do that on that job, that you're going to lose your job if you continue to do that. And your lack of awareness is causing you to be closer and closer to the outdoor,
Mm,
to getting pushed out. Your lack
mm.
of awareness in your relationship.
You're right. You're
I
right.
mentor people all the time, and a husband will tell me, Minister Sonia, she belittles me in front of people, and when I talk to her, she'll say, I don't do that.
Ah,
But
ah.
he can give me a good example, and
Right.
I'll say, well, did you say that? Well, yeah, I said that, but I didn't mean to. That
Right.
wasn't a belittle. And the lack of awareness, because you don't never know when somebody's breaking point is.
That's true.
Um,
That
we
is
we
true.
we really have to be aware in a relationship. I say something in all relationships with my husband, kids, friends, business partners. I say, all right, now I'm getting tired. That's
Yeah.
my cue that I'm finna cut you off. If I start telling you I'm getting tired, I'm getting tired. So we all need to have a
Mm.
little, you know, a little indicator
Right. Right. Yeah.
before
To
we
let
break.
us know right where we
Yeah,
are. Right.
yeah, well, yeah.
And that
But you
comes to self-awareness, like you said. That
self-awareness.
goes back to self-awareness.
Yeah, yeah,
Being
because
aware. Yeah.
you can't fix what you
What
don't
you
face,
don't face. That's
baby.
right.
So
Praise God.
you have to be aware. You have to be aware. Your
Right.
lack of awareness will cause you to stay stuck. Your lack of awareness will cause you not to learn the lesson that you should have learned 5
Right.
years ago, 10
You're right.
years ago, 20 relationships ago,
You're
5
right.
businesses ago. If you had to just learn from the past,
Right.
you would be walking in the abundant life that you was already supposed to be walking in. Some of us stay stuck because we refuse to learn from our past mistakes. You refuse to learn. And there are so many ways that we can learn from past mistakes. We don't even have to always learn from our own past mistakes, Sean. You can
True.
learn from other folks' past mistakes. I
Can I
see
tell
a
you
wife
something?
doing this. Come on.
Let me tell you something. My mother has she doesn't do drugs, never done drugs and all that kind of thing. And she has taught recovery and stuff. And she says, I don't have to do drugs and all of that to know that it ain't good for me. I can look at you. I look at your situation. There you go. There you go. Yeah. I look at your situation and I can tell, so you don't always, you can look at, like you said, you can look at other people, one more thing I wanted to throw in there. In order to become self-aware and all this kind of thing, you have to be intentional about doing so. You know, you have to really say, okay, let me focus in on being aware. You have to be intentional about stuff.
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
know.
So I'm gonna do a brief recap so that we'll know what all we talking about today. We saying don't forget your past. We
Don't
know for all y'all saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, folk, all of those who are so heavenly bound that you know earthly good. Side note, but we know that the Word of God says, "Forget your past and press toward the mark." I
Yeah,
know. But Soniaology says, don't forget your past until you have learned from it. I want y'all to write that down.
I like that.
Don't forget your past until. Somebody just write down until. Just put until you forget, until you learn from it. Don't forget your past. Because, as Brother Sean said, if you don't remember your past, you are deemed to forget, to repeat it.
That's right.
So we don't want to forget our past until we learn from it. We want to learn from our past. We want to learn from our past relationships so that our next marriage will work. We want to learn from our past business ventures so that our next business venture will be successful. We want to learn from the church that you're in so that you can be complete in the church that you're in so you can stop church hopping. We want to learn from our past with our children so that our children can be the best that they can be. We have to learn from the past so that we don't repeat it. Here's the thing. Again, back to this. We can learn from other folk mistakes. We don't have to make the mistakes. I remember when my mom said, I'm trying to teach you this so you don't go through it. I went through it, but I don't want you to go through it. I tell people all the time, Brother Sean, I feel bad for drug addicts. And I tell people, you don't have to try drugs. You don't have to try to rob banks. You don't have to try to strong arm people. You ain't got to do that. Learn from my mistakes. Learn from the 31 times that I've been to jail, the one time that I went to prison. Look at my life and see. But we can also look at people's past and learn from it in a positive note. Just because you're down right now don't mean that you'll be up. You can't be up tomorrow. Look at me and learn. I want you to learn how not to do the negative things that I've done in my life that got me the 31 jail time and the one-time prison, the 14-year drug habit. But I do want you to learn from me and know that God's arm is long enough to reach you wherever you are. If you're in a dark place right now, God can bring you out of that thing because He is Jehovah Jireh. He can provide you with deliverance. He can provide you with peace. He can provide you with joy. He said He is Jehovah Shalom, the God that gives us peace beyond all understanding. If you are in a bad place right now, learn from me that you don't have to stay stuck.
That's right. That's right. You don't have to stay stuck. I like it. I like it. Good word. Good word. Learn from your past. Learning from your past.
Yes. Don't forget your past until you learn from it. You got to learn from it before you forget it. The analogy that we gave, the analogy that we gave. Hey, my cousin Geronda on the line. Hey, Allie. Hey, Valencia. The analogy that we gave earlier was a little child touching a stove. He needs to learn that the last time I touched that stove, I got burnt.
Right.
But if he don't learn that lesson, he'll keep touching that stove over and over and over and over. Hey, good morning, Rita King. And we don't want to do that. Dude, does anybody on the live feel like you've been going around and around the mountain over and over and over again? Well, I want to just suggest this. You have not learned your lesson. That's why
right.
God is allowing you
That's
to
right.
continue to go around that same mountain.
That's
To go
right.
around that same mountain because you haven't learned your lesson. Don't forget that Soniaology says this, and I by no means am better than the word of God. But God gives me some insight.
That's right.
Again, out of all your get understanding.
That's right.
And when God says, don't forget your past, when God says, forget your past and press towards the future, you can't not press towards the future until you learn from the past. Stop going around the same mountain. Stop hitting the same wall. Look, I'm talking about in every aspect of your life.
Well, you know what? That makes me think that you definitely don't forget your past, because otherwise you're doomed to repeat it. It's just
That's
like
right.
in recovery, they tell us that when these things come up, sometimes we try to romanticize the past, how good it was or whatever, this and that,
Yeah.
how good, whenever back in my drugging days, if I ever had a thought of, man, that show was good and the things that I did, that sort of thing, they say play that tape all the way to the end.
To the end.
Look at what it did to you. Look at what you lost. Look at the things that you did. Play that story the whole way through. By the time you finish doing that, you're gonna be like, Lord, thank you. I'm not going back. We have
Right.
that time to play that tape all the way to the end.
And let me just say this, and we're gonna wrap it up. I wrote this down as well. Learning from past experiences often requires conscious effort. Number one, it requires effort. Somebody write down effort. It requires effort and openness to feedback.
Okay.
And a willingness to adapt and change.
That's true.
Often we got to get feedback. In our relationships with my husband, I'll ask my husband, babe, are you happy with me? Yeah, babe, I'm happy with you. Well, what can I change? What can I do different? Or in business, I'll go to somebody who's in the same line of work and say, what do you think I need to do different? I've been kind of stifled a little bit. We have to be open,
You're right.
open for
You're
feedback.
Right. You're right.
And we got to be willing to change. Somebody tell you, you say, what can I change about myself? Well, you often have a body odor. So maybe you should try to take a shower before you come. And before you come out the house.
Okay.
And you say, I ain't thinking about you. Shoot, I've been taking my shower at night. So I don't think. You have to be open.
You're crazy.
I try to give analogies that people understand.
You're crazy. Okay.
You have to be open and willing to change and to adapt. Don't forget that we had the conversation that you was thinking. Don't forget that until you've learned from it. Now you can go on and forget that I used to stink. Hey, see, sometimes when folks bring up some of my past, I done forgot it because I done got over it.
Yeah.
I'm not deemed to repeat it. Then you can forget about it because you done changed the behavior. Everybody on the live right now, I need you to share the live, and I need you to like the live, and I need you to go and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe. And y'all need to be getting some of y'all Talkbox merchandise too. You go over to SoniaTalkbox.com. You can get your nice outfits, tops and bottoms, the jackets, the hoods, the cups, all of that. But this is our morning motivation to you to help drive while on journey to abundant living. We have permission and the authority to live an abundant life. Go ahead, Sean. Is there anything else you want to share on today?
Again, what a word, what a mighty word. Learning from your past, and it's just that's something that we all need today, and we can take that as we go out today and just think about the mistakes, even on yesterday. Yesterday is the past.
Yeah.
Think about things you didn't do. You're supposed to do this, but you didn't do it. And you know that if you don't take care of that, this is gonna pile. That sort of thing. Go ahead on and get it done, because in the past when I procrastinated,
Right.
waited to the last minute, these
Right.
things happen. So
Yeah.
again, what a mighty word. We have to
Yeah.
be intentional
Yeah.
about learning from our past.
Yeah.
So I'm
Learning from your past. Don't forget your past until you learn from it.
that's
It's
right.
something that I normally say at the beginning of every show. I do this spiel. I'm Sonya G here on the Talk Box, but I want you to know that every day is a good day. Because we have another opportunity to get some things right that we didn't have right on yesterday.
Right.
So today you have the opportunity.
Right.
You have a chance and a choice to
Right.
do something different. You have
Right.
a chance and a choice to learn from past failures,
Right.
learn from past mistakes, learn from past letdowns, learn from past bad decisions.
That's
And
right.
today, walk in abundance. It's
That's
your girl Sonya G with my co-host Sean Jones on today. I want to let you know, you guys, that all next week I will be showing up from Mexico. So I will be going live all next week, but I'll be in Mexico. My son, he don't know it yet, y'all, so don't tell him. But he'll probably be co-hosting because we're going to be together. There in
I want to go to Mexico.
Well, come on. We're going with the whole family. We're chartering a plane, as a matter
I'm
of fact.
family.
My first chartered plane. So I'm very excited about that. But we're going to be live next week, you guys. I need you guys to make sure that you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. I am doing the best I can to get guest on that will help improve and plant great seeds into your life. If you know anyone who need to be a guest on the Talk Box, or if you are somebody who need to come on the Talk Box, share your life, share your business, or be a sponsor, make sure that you contact me. You can email me at contact@sonyatalkbox.com. Anytime, if you got guests, if you want to sponsor, if you want to do an advertisement for what you're doing, we all can win. I tell people all the time, nobody is my competition. Not in taxes, not in podcasting, not in being a wife, not in being a friend. Nobody is my competition. But that also means that nobody is yours. So stand on what God has for you. Be the man and woman of God that he called you to be. It's your girl, Sonya G, here on the Talk Box. We'll see y'all next week. Same time, same place.
Let's talk about it. Yeah, you're listening to the Talk Box side. You're listening to the Talk Box. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it.